Hey, I'm your host, Ben Silverio.
And I am your guest co-host, Helena Handbasket.
And I am your host in post, Ansel Birch.
And it's time to party!
Stupid.
We're just doing ringtones now.
Oh, yeah. Should we review a really bad movie?
Oh, hey, let's review a bad movie.
I'm sorry, I know, I'm taking a giant shit all over this movie. It was very funny in some places, but it was not meant to be that way.
No.
It's not marketed as a comedy, not written as a comedy.
Nope.
Yeah.
Although, if they did take the Evil Dead 2 route and just take the script as it is, shoot it as a comedy.
That could have been great. This could have been great.
Man.
And it wasn't.
And it wasn't.
If you're just joining us.
If you're just joining us, I just have a list of things that I thought of on the way. Not on the way here, but
Right.
along the journey that we took while watching the Mothman Prophesies. I'm sorry.
That one doesn't count because I didn't say it.
Oh, it's only when Ben does it.
Damn it.
Because I do it so much.
Or as I like to call it, the Butterfly Prophecies.
The Butterfly
What is this
Prophecies.
movie called? The Butterfly Effect.
Butterfly Effect.
Yes.
With Ashton Kutcher.
With Ashton.
And no one else.
And no one else.
God bless. Okay.
But yes, this month we are taking a look at the Butterfly Effect from all the way back in 2004.
Wow.
Balls.
Wow.
Ansel, what were you doing in 2004?
I think when this movie came out was like right before I started college. So,
Oh.
yeah.
It was right when I started high school.
Yeah,
Okay.
same.
Yeah, because we're the same age.
Yes, true.
So yeah, I think it. Yeah. I was like-
Significant year in all of our lives.
Yeah, absolutely, and probably in Ashton Kutcher's life.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just another movie coming out for him. Mm-hmm. He's probably like, well, I'm glad I'm done with that thing. Mm-hmm. Press junket was finally over. He's like, oh, fuck.
Oh God, I want to lie down. And he's the most tired after having shot this film.
Yes.
Well, he's probably got a neck thing now
Yeah.
after leaning back and looking down his nose at things.
Yep, correct.
Well, these days he's busy not showering regularly with his wife Mila Kunis.
Is that
right?
his
Yeah, I guess
shtick
they
now?
they had this whole thing about how they don't shower regularly,
Okay.
like once
Yeah.
a month, and then like they don't use soap.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
Sure,
mean-
there's some sort of weird philosophy behind it.
I think there is, and I'm not gonna shame anybody for that because Lord knows I can certainly smell like a dog most days. That's why I'm wearing PJs right now.
Respect.
Well, yes. So we're going to review the Butterfly Effect. I almost said prophecies.
Yes, it's a trick. Now you have to take a drink every time Ben fucks up the title of the movie.
That's
At least we're not
basically
making
what's-
Ben take a drink every
That's
time
true.
he does
No, Ben would already be drunk.
I would be.
it. It's another self-compounding one.
Yes.
Oh man.
In case you've never heard of the Butterfly Effect, our friends at IMDb have you covered. They tell us Evan Treborn suffers blackouts during significant events of his life. As he grows up, he finds a way to remember these lost memories and a supernatural way to alter his life by reading his journal. What was your expectation going in?
I think given the fact that the time in which we watched this movie was October,
Yes.
I was excited. I chose this one, by the way, dear listeners. I chose this. I subjected all of us to this.
What was the Google criteria that made you go, ooh, yeah, that
What were
one.
my other choices again? I forgot.
Oh, gosh.
I can't remember what they were. But I thought that this was going to be like a scary movie, like a horror movie.
Right.
That was kind of the expectation I walked into it with. And then I was like, oh God, in what world did I think I would enjoy an Ashton Kutcher film that wasn't as meant to be a comedy?
The other options were The Final Girls,
Oh shit, that was one of the options?
It was.
Donnie Darko.
Why did I choose
No.
Why did I choose
I think
Butterfly?
we all thought this was the Mothman Prophecies.
I honestly think that might have been it.
Yeah.
That-
I think that's
Did
what
we
I
just
thought.
watch the wrong movie? Is that what happened?
No. But I also really love The Final Girls. That's a great film.
It's a great movie.
That's a great film. Mm-hmm. Yes. But it is fun to talk about a bad film.
Yeah, my notes are all over the place.
Mine are too. They're
for
just
this movie,
in chronological order. My first note is, did the mom just strip out of a mechanic's jumpsuit and have on another jumpsuit underneath? But it was really just her waitressing outfit, but it looked like she had two jumpsuits on. Because she fixed her car and then had to go to work. And I was like, she's also in like a mechanic's jumpsuit and there's no oil or dirt or anything on it. And then she strips out into a pristine butter yellow waitress outfit. I was like, oh, that's where we are. Okay, great.
All right.
Great.
Moms.
Mom.
Somebody needed to return that jumpsuit in original condition. That's
Oh, man. Whew.
no distressing the jumpsuit.
No.
guys.
Not at all.
My first note was, damn, dropped the R word at the top.
Right?
Like
Hard R.
Hard R.
And the whole film went downhill from there.
Oh, man.
And that was the note
the
that I
tone.
had, like, the fourth note down was, does not hold up.
Yes, exactly. I mean, a lot of the outdated language was from the same little shit kid.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That is, like, that's the kind of kid that you scruff like a cat and you go, stop it. I'm not saying that you should abuse children, but that little turd
Spray
needed...
bottle.
Yeah. I don't know where this note came from. I can't remember this part in the movie, but I had my second note is, at least he's murdering Nazis. Oh,
What?
that's what it was. It was the drawing that he did.
Oh, yes,
There
right.
was a drawing, but it was like this kid standing over. You know, it was like a kid's drawing. Kid standing over with a knife, bloody, and there are bodies in front of him. But the bodies have like Nazi tattoos on them, and I was like, well, if you're going to, you might as well. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying
you
should.
You should.
But if you're gonna,
punch anybody in the face, it might as well be a Nazi.
Absolutely. Punch some Nazis.
This is gonna get edited out. Just be Indiana Jones.
I'll just bleep the word Nazi so that we all for comedy.
No, don't do that. Oh God.
Who could they possibly be talking about?
No.
You'll know immediately.
Yeah.
There's no question.
No
it's
question.
the movie rule.
It's the movie.
Nazis and robots, you can murder as much as you want.
There you go.
Because like nobody's mad if you murder a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Even zombies sometimes, like people are like, I don't know, could you have cured those zombies? I feel like you might
I
have
feel
murdered
like there
those
might have
people
been
too
an
soon.
alternative there.
Yeah.
But
Robots and Nazis,
it's just like
there's
a
no
carte
going back
blanche.
from that, apparently.
Wow.
To start bludgeoning all of them.
I think we both made this note about when the camera cut to Sunnyvale Institution. Both of us were like,
Yeah.
"Is this a Buffy reference?"
Right.
Could have been.
It could've
Spike
been.
shows up.
Spike shows up.
Is James Marsters in this movie?
He should be.
Could have been.
But yeah, that little kid that was such a shit. His character's name was Tommy.
Ugh.
But the actor that plays him as a kid is named Jesse James.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Did he go on to do anything else?
That is a good question.
I have a note here that just says so many bullies. There's so many bullies in this
So
film.
many bullies.
There's just like I don't know. There's
Oh.
a lot of boys getting mad at each other and punching each other,
True.
which like use your words.
A lot
That
of
is
things.
the thing that happens.
I mean, come on, don't punch each other.
A lot of things can be solved if people just talk about them.
Additionally, the casting of the younger kid, the two younger children who play young Evan in this, look exactly like they would grow up to look like Ashton Kutcher. So it was
Yes.
great casting. And additionally, these kids were phenomenal actors.
They were the best.
They were
Best part of the
hands
movie.
down the best part of the movie.
Yes.
They were so genuine in their portrayals. They were very there for it and very and like you believed them. You were like, this is a kid who's in this weird situation.
Yeah, Evan at 7 was played by Logan Lerman, who went on to do a ton of stuff.
Oh,
Great.
okay.
Good for him.
He's those
Any
Percy
relation to
Jackson
Boz?
movies, right?
Oh, is he Percy Jackson?
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure, but he's 100% in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh,
Yes, he is Percy Jackson.
great.
Yeah, he's
Good
that
for
kid.
him. Good for him.
Get it.
And then Evan at 13 was played by John Patrick Amadori. He was in Dear White People.
Oh. Good. Great. Good.
All right.
Glad that these
Yeah.
folks went on to have
Do they still look like
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher? Yeah.
How did they
A
grow
little
up?
bit.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
just a Hollywood
Holy
cloning
moly.
program. Wow.
That is a babe.
That's
Whew.
like if Ashton Kutcher and
How old is he? Just out of curiosity.
13. No.
No.
Born in 87.
Oh wow. Okay, so great. Total babe.
Mm-hmm.
Love that for us.
Logan Lerman was born in 92.
Oh, okay. So around kind of close to our age.
Yes.
Sort of.
But yeah, those two actors specifically probably gave the best performances.
Correct. I have this note of some of the acting is great and some of it is fucking bad. Young Kutch is great. That's the note I made about that.
nice.
I also had this note that Ashton always looked like he's on an episode of Punk'd.
Yes.
Like I always was waiting for him to like make a joke.
He was probably waiting for him to make a joke.
I was kind of like you know when you're like waiting for the reveal on the joke and you're kind of tense about it. That's how I felt through the whole movie. Because I was like waiting for him to make the punchline, and it never happened.
I wonder if he did a bunch of like dumb shit like immediately after each take, and so he was like gearing up for that and
To like
so it
relieve
made
the
it into
tension.
yeah.
Yep. That makes sense.
So much tension.
Not saying that that's a good thing to do.
No. Don't do that to your audience, because why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because then they'll talk about it however many years later.
Yep.
And slowly as the movie goes on, you know, it's like there's a lot of moments where, well, let me just say, in my notes, in all caps, I've written, not the dog, not the baby.
Yeah.
Tommy just keeps getting revealed as even more and more and more of a shit.
Yeah, he's a total shit.
But, like, so is his dad.
Correct.
We talk a lot about sad dad stuff so far, and it's Tommy's dad, you know, trying to film porn with his kids and
So fucking
baby Ashton.
gross.
Like,
I just had all caps trauma.
so much trauma.
There's so much trauma. Boundaries being violated left and right.
Yeah.
Oh man. And that was that time period, you know? It's kind of gross. Ugh.
People suck.
People suck. I also just have a question I'm going to pose to the group. Why would a professor call and leave a voicemail about an unfinished essay that was not turned in? Why would the professor call the dorm number? Where did he get the dorm number? Why would he call about that?
Right.
Because quite frankly, you just see him in class and go, hey, where's your essay? Or you send, well, I guess, you could send a fucking email. There was email then. What's
Yeah, it was
going on?
04.
Yeah.
This
There.
bullshit.
As someone who was going to college at the time.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got emails
Email
from my
exists.
professors.
Right. Did you ever get a phone call on your landline in your dorm room from your
Not
professor?
from a professor.
Asking where your essay was?
It was that sweet transitional period where there were still landlines in every room, and everybody had their own like intranet phone number thing.
Right,
so it was
right.
like, you know, you had a 4-number extension, you could call anybody on campus. But yeah, no, never, ever, ever would a professor have called me in my room
Fucking ridiculous.
because why would they do that?
Yep.
I mean, granted, when was Ashton supposed to be in college? Because that wasn't.
I think it was supposed to be 2004. I think it was supposed
Yeah, I
to be
think it
contemporary.
was modern day
Yeah.
at that point.
I guess, yeah.
That dorm really did look like the dorm I went to school. Like that looked like, and it's clear that it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
But then again, I went to college shortly thereafter, so.
Yeah, I mean, my dorm room, I just remember that we bunked our beds.
Hell yeah.
But my roommate had a long-term girlfriend,
Oh no.
you know. And
Top bunk or bottom
he
bunk?
had the top bunk.
Oh no.
That's that's not good for anybody.
It was good for them.
I mean, I guess.
Wow. Wow.
They made that squeak work for him.
But so a note that I have written down is that this movie is like a super fucked up High Fidelity.
Yeah.
You know,
shit.
Yeah.
where Ashton is looking back at the events of his life and like seeing what he did wrong, except he tries to change it. Oh no!
Oh no!
So sad.
Sorry.
More sad.
Oh no! Take a drink.
Just piling on the sad.
Yeah.
When John Cusack is trying to look back introspectively at his relationships, it's
Right.
just like, how can I change me? And Ashton Kutcher is like, how can I change everything around me?
Yeah, because
I
it's
want to
clearly
stay
everything.
the way I am,
Correct.
but everybody else is fucked up.
Correct.
Yes. Do you think that's how Ashton feels for real?
I'm sure at times.
I mean, I have this whole series of notes about Ashton, and it was, you know, some of the acting is bad, young Kutch is great, things like that. But then as I go further down, there's this was the wrong casting choice to have Ashton, and then towards the end I go, is he an okay actor? I'm not sure. You know, I don't know. It just started falling apart there at the end.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
it was barely together. It was like tacked together, but wow.
Like Evan's brain, which was slowly deteriorating throughout
Yeah.
the movie because of all the
That
traveling.
fucking moment where he's in the wheelchair at the hospital getting the results about his memory, and he's just leaning back on the wheel like a total freaking douche bro.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, this is how my brain is. I was like, see, that's the Ashton I was expecting this whole
Right.
film. And now I have just a little nugget of it, and I don't know what he's trying to do.
Yep.
I don't know what he's doing with this film.
Yeah. The film and Evan's brain are just falling apart as the plot points continue.
Correct.
Do you think they shot that scene first, and then the director was like, "Ooh, okay, I know that's your thing,
But can we tone it down a little bit? And then he can't tone it down. That's why he's got the wide eyes.
every time you want to do something crazy, I want you to just lean your head back and look down your nose, side eye, but like at an angle."
Right.
Yeah.
Give us some of that.
Angular side eye, please. Oh my god.
Oh, but speaking of people being miscast, Kevin Durant, who I know as the Blob from X-Men Origins Wolverine, was cast as a prisoner named Carlos.
Oh.
Kevin Durant is French-Canadian.
Oh, right. We had this conversation.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they wanted him to play Hispanic.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
And that was bad luck.
Yeah, that's rough. Because I mean, Carlos is a name that like gets some play in Europe. So
Sure.
I
Sure,
could
but
see
I'll-
there being a like, you know, European Carlos. Like there was a King Carlos in Spain.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, if you want him to play Hispanic,
Yeah,
Right,
no, they
because,
for
like-
sure had a white guy
Yeah.
yeah,
playing someone who's supposed to be Latinx.
Right.
Yeah.
that's rough.
Sounds like 2004. Oh,
Yeah.
sounds like Chicago, circa 3 years ago. Yeah.
I feel like I'm still
said
seeing
it.
that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Go watch West Side Story somewhere.
Oh God.
Yeah, but you know, coming back to Ashton, it's like he really wanted this to be a comedy.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, you nailed it. Like he really wanted this to be a comedy, and the film was never a comedy. But all of the situations are so bizarre.
Yep.
Like that fight outside of the sorority fraternity when the brother comes back.
Yep.
We were watching it, and he's like in a tux because he was like surprising his girlfriend with this fancy dinner, and the brother shows up, and they get in this fight, and we were like, now he's in jail? Now he's in jail. And that was a moment where I was like, this reminds me of Bedazzled. Where he's
Yeah.
wishing for things. And he's like, well, you know, he's got the great life now that he's dating, like, you know, this chick from the sorority house and everything's going really well. And then he gets in this fight on the lawn. Spoiler alert, goes
Yeah.
to jail. And then we had this moment where both of us looked at each other going, wouldn't that be self-defense?
Right.
Like, he was
He killed-
legitimately attacked.
He killed the brother who tried attacking him.
Who, like, attacked him and was going to kill him.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
but-
he had just gotten out of an institution or something.
Yeah, he like broke out of an institution.
Right.
Oh, right, because he destroyed his car, and then
Yep.
the spike collar was dangling from the mirror,
Yes.
and that's how you knew that the brother was coming to kill him. Dun, dun, dun.
Because the brother killed the dog.
Yeah, the brother killed the dog because he's a
That's how you know
fucking
this dude's an
nightmare.
ultimate heel. He killed the dog. I mean,
you don't come back from that.
Technically, it's his fault that he killed the baby too, but
Oh yeah, that was Jesus, so much,
yeah.
so much.
And the dog and the baby stuff is like in the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Where you're just like, what am I watching?
You want to have any questions about who the bad guy is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you might
it's
have
Ashton
questions
Kutcher.
if we didn't establish this early on. You might have been confused if we didn't kill a dog first.
Yeah, honestly, I think you might have. Also, that
Maybe it didn't test well, and they were like, "How do we make this guy more
how do we
of a
make this
heel?"
guy more of an asshole?
I mean, we could break the cardinal rule of filmmaking.
Don't kill the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not go to school on a campus where there were fraternities and sororities, and the portrayal of fraternities and sororities was so weird. I was like, "Is this real? Like, is that something that happens? Like, the weird stuff that they had.
I mean, like,
they were covered in flour and they had bowls on their heads.
I mean, hazing is a thing.
Hazing is a thing, but also just like the kinds of shenanigans you get up to when you spend multiple years with the same college-age kids in the same house. Like, things start to seem like a good idea that aren't.
Yeah.
I like to be alone so often that the idea of doing that is like actually the definition of hell for me.
Yeah. It's like I was in a fraternity.
Oh.
It was
How was
nothing
that?
like this.
Okay.
Nothing like
Got
this.
it, got it.
My fraternity was very strange, even by fraternity standards. We were
Really?
just super nerdy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And,
great.
Like, obviously, if I was in it, like, there's no way it was, like, anything. But we absolutely did weird, dumb shit.
Yeah.
That was not related to hazing or the ritual or any of that stuff.
Sure, but you weren't like putting everybody in harm's way or doing
No,
stuff
no.
that could be really damaging.
And that's the thing is, well, and also, I think, especially since this was 2004.
Right.
That conversation was happening.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
We were all very conscious of, like, okay, now, remember, everybody, that this is a thing that we don't do anymore.
Yeah.
Some fraternities are still doing it, but not us, because we don't want to be like that.
Right. Correct.
Like, that was a conversation that was had every year to remind everybody that this is not a thing
Yeah.
that we
Please
do
don't
anymore.
just fuck with people like
Yeah.
that's so.
I realize we
ugh.
all saw Animal House. That's not what we're doing.
That's not real life.
Animal House also does not hold up very well.
No.
I had an attachment to Animal House because it was the first movie that I hosted the screening of, like, in public.
Oh.
Wow.
Like, we got the TLA in Philly. It was my birthday weekend.
Ah.
We decided to throw a toga party
Okay.
and screen Animal House, and it was awesome. And then I rewatched Animal House recently because I'm currently thinning out my Funko Pop collection and, like, seeing what I want to keep and stuff. So I'm rewatching all the stuff that I
Going back to the source material.
exactly,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So
That's a good way to go.
I
so
think that
here
is a
I
good way to
have John Belushi as Bluto, and I'm like, do I want to keep this? So I rewatched Animal House, and I'm like, ooh, some of this really doesn't hold up.
No, for real.
Nah.
Hey, let's talk about this girlfriend.
Yeah, I was
'Cause
just gonna
really
bring
want to
her
talk
up.
about her.
How do you feel about Amy Smart as the older girlfriend?
I think that in some of her iterations, she was pretty weak. Like that first one where she was troubled and worked at the diner and was supposed to be having this enough of a mental breakdown to lead her to suicide.
Yeah.
I didn't see it in the portrayal at all, and that's like assessing it as someone who does film and TV and theater. I didn't buy that, but when they cut to her and she was, living in this slummy apartment and was a sex worker and was seeking drugs, and at first I was like, is this a bad portrayal of sex work? And then as it got deeper in, I was like, oh no, she's actually like portraying a very like sincere like person who has fallen on really hard times and is doing whatever she can to make money. And, obviously like I'm pro sex work up and down every which way to Sunday. But that was the moment where I was like, oh, her portrayal is actually sincere. And I did like her in that iteration. And then it like cut back to sorority her. And I'm like, I think I just hate these type of people, of like the stuffy, rich,
Yes.
white people. There were parts of it that I thought she did a great job on, and there were parts of it that I was like, ooh. I mean, a movie from 2004, I don't think is going to do any sex workers any favors at all, because like we're in 2021 and
Right.
there's still no favors being done. It's the worst.
Sex work is a real word.
It is.
Sure is.
So, but I think that, like that scene in the diner that they have that was the one moment where I was like, I think Ashton is doing a good job. Like, that was the like one scene where I was like, this is actually a really good back and forth. And she really, I mean, she threw down, and I was like, go off. But other than that, I was kind of like, take it or leave it.
Yeah. Like, when I think of Amy Smart, I think of Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, right.
And I think of the hot coma wife from Scrubs.
Yep.
And, like, both are kind of similar in that they have the comedic edge, but this, Amy Smart had to go, like, full drama.
Yeah.
And, as you said, some of it was good, some of it was not so good.
Yeah.
But she tried.
She did. She sure did.
But, like, also, the script wasn't that great.
No, the script was terrible.
So it's not like it's completely their fault.
Yeah, no. I think the movie got better as it went on, script-wise. It almost feels like it changed writers, like halfway through. I don't know.
Well, I wrote a note that the time travel itself reminded me a lot of X-Men Days of Future Past, the movie. Mm-hmm. But, like, having all those different timelines is kind of similar to that also. So, I mean, like, the time travel mechanism of this movie.
Right.
How did you feel about it?
I mean, I think it was really interesting because it wasn't, you know, I'm not entirely sure, like, based off of the other movies that we had available to us, like Donnie Darko and Final Girls, which now that I'm thinking about it, I would love to review those ones as well. I think that all three of these films kind of fell into this really strange time travel mechanism of, like, we don't have a machine. We don't have... there's nothing really that is, like, the impetus for it except for this, like, weird brain thing that Evan has. And, like, with Donnie Darko, it's, like, kind of a similar thing. And Final Girls, like, is the mechanism in that is different, obviously. But I thought it was interesting. And I felt like it was both a feature of the film and, like, not talked about at all.
Right.
Like, we knew that the dad also had it. Was it a genetic condition?
Yeah.
Was it just this, like, weird thing? Was it real? Was it, you know, like, was any of this real? So I don't really feel like the time travel aspect of it was, like, fully emphasized. Like, we were focusing on the situations that came from those things rather than, you know, here's this person who has this weird thing.
Yeah.
You know, especially, like, when he got trapped and couldn't go back. And,
Right.
You know,
because it's not so much as Ashton or Evan and his whole body going back to that time. It's more like his brain going back in his body to that time.
Right.
Just like Wolverine in X-Men Days of Future Past. Like,
right.
So he goes back to that time with the knowledge of what he knows in the future.
Right.
And in theory, it's an interesting mechanism. But also, I don't know, there's something about the way it plays out here where it essentially creates a loop.
Yeah.
Because there are points in the movie where you see Evan go back and then stuff happens and you don't know why. Like, why is he holding the knife in the kitchen with his mom?
Yeah.
And then that comes back later because he does it. Like, that's when he jumps back.
Right.
So there are these set points. So
he's, like, trying to find the moment that caused all the chaos, and he keeps going back to different moments that he thinks might work.
Yes. It didn't really cover when or why he did the drawing, right?
Right. Didn't cover that.
Yeah.
It also didn't cover why he kept jumping back to his dorm room.
Right.
Like, when he would go back to present day, he was always ending up in the dorm room, whether it was flipped or not.
Right.
But there was no explanation as to how he ended up there, whereas, like, he ended up in different places having done different things. But there were, like, a couple times where they're like, yeah, we'll just fudge it.
Yeah.
And, like, he'll just be there.
Yeah, so they really tried to present...
Had a lot of holes.
Yes, they tried to present an interesting time travel mechanism, but they were just like, it's good enough.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
It had some holes in it for sure. Yeah.
So in trying to find out some behind the scenes scoop, which I was not able to find.
Oh boy.
I did find a review from Roger Ebert that points out something really interesting, which is that they kind of forgot the principle that the movie's based on.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great...
Because when
That's
he changes
really great.
shit, it only really changes in a
vacuum.
Yes.
area, yeah.
Right, and the beginning of the film does the butterfly effect explanation of like a butterfly's wing could change the course of history, or like
Why?
one small event
Yeah.
would change everything.
Yeah.
And all it did was change him from like regular to like frat bro to like, I don't know, institutionalized. Like, it was just his life. Truly, I mean, like it was him and the like
he interacted with.
Right.
correct, yeah. So, yeah, don't know why they just
Yeah, interesting.
they went in on that, didn't they?
I don't know why I didn't notice that, but
No, I
sure
think that's what
didn't.
it is. I think you nailed everything that we were trying to
Right.
sum up. Is like they tried to enter it with this concept that they would do this thing, and that didn't happen.
I think there was one positive thing to come out of the butterfly effect.
Okay.
And that is that Eric Stoltz finally got his time travel movie. Because if you didn't know, Eric Stoltz was supposed to be Marty McFly. And then it didn't work out, and they got Michael J. Fox.
Hey, there you go.
But now Eric Stoltz gets to play. He was the creepy dad, right? Tommy's dad.
Yep. Who we found out was also the drug dealer in Pulp Fiction.
Right.
It took me a second when they cut over to him with a beard and long hair. I was like, oh, that's who that is.
All
Yeah.
right.
I don't know actors as well as Ben does. Ben can recall those people, like, pull them out of
Yeah.
back pocket.
It's called my cell phone.
It's almost as if you have a very advanced small computer in your pocket
With a specific list of actors.
that has a
and movies
list of
they're in.
actors. It's almost as if there's a database with that information in it.
Never.
My stars.
What an advancement that would be. in having conversations over dinner.
Wouldn't it just...
Remember when we had to just argue and then, like, give up after a while?
Instead of being like, here is concrete proof.
Here's some fucking
I'm pretty
proof.
sure that was Eric Bana. I don't think that was Eric Bana. And that was
Aw.
where that conversation would end until somebody found out for real or went to get the movie case.
Right, exactly.
The VHS, no doubt.
VHS.
The laser disc.
For those younger listeners.
The Betamax.
Oh my gosh.
The film strip.
Bigger and more rectangular. That's what.
Aw.
Yeah.
So I guess the only question left is, would you consider watching The Butterfly Effect worth your time?
No.
No.
Is that a no from you as
No.
well? No.
That's 2 no's. All right.
What about you, Ansel?
Four
You have
no's.
seen it. I know you
have
didn't.
seen it, yes. I also would not have recommended this film.
Yeah.
I don't know why I chose. I think it's because it was the one I hadn't seen.
I
Of the
honestly,
list that I got.
think I missed it when you chose it. Because, like, when it was
Why
only
did
a
I
couple
choose
days
this?
ago that Ben was like, oh, yeah, and we're going to do Butterfly Effect. And I was like, with who? Why?
But with
And I
what
looked back
purpose?
at the chat. I was like, oh, okay.
I think we
yeah.
all thought it was the Mothman Prophecies.
I think we all thought it was the Mothman Prophecies, and also it was the one from the list that I was like, oh, I haven't seen that,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to come into it with my already preconceived
Sure,
opinions
sure,
about
sure.
things. So
Is there time travel in the Mothman
I was just going to
Prophecies?
ask you, is there
my
time
God,
travel
if
in
there
Mothman
is,
Prophecies? I don't think
dibs.
there is, but, you know,
if there is, dibs.
there could be.
Great.
Mothman.
all right, so that's 3 no's on the is it worth your time?
Yeah. Hopefully our discussion about it was worth your time.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, you could let us know, because you could find us on the internet. I am at BSilverio20 on Instagram and Twitter.
I am at the Hell in a Handbasket on Instagram and Only Handbasket on Twitter.
I am at Indecisionist on Twitter and The Indecisionist on Instagram.
You can join the conversation by using the hashtag #time2party. That's time, the number 2 party. Well,
Yep.
we talked about that movie.
We sure did.
And in the next installment of our God damn it. In the next
Take a drink, take a
installment
drink, take a
of
drink.
our Butterfly Effect discussion, we will get into some edutainment. You can learn something.
Hop into your floaty.
Yes.
Hop into your floaty, because this is information we looked up just now.
A real lazy river
Real
of
gem.
knowledge.
Yep.
So,
Nobody's here to wash you in
No.
complex explanation.
but I sure hope that it washes you more than Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis do.
Oh, wow.
So until the next time we bring you this tomfoolery and craziness, be excellent to each other.
And party on, dudes.